Audio Jungle.
So this is the
Yes.
first thing we are going to discuss about RAC. For
Okay.
basic introduction, since you have worked on Sun cluster is a kind of things you know that what a cluster is all about and what kind of high availability it can provide you.
Yeah.
And even we will discuss that down the line. In Oracle, the high availability, we talk about the database instance high availability. When one instance is crashing, another is still opening the database. So that's the way. Okay. So the first thing we have here is in the architecture part. This is the first thing we are going to start, which is known as process structure of RAC. Before understanding the concept of RAC and how does it work at operating system level, how it works at database level, the most important thing is to understand its structure, the processes which are responsible for building, which are the building blocks for RAC, and the management of RAC in the monitoring of RAC environment, different services. So all these things.
Yeah.
This stands for Oracle High Availability Service Daemon. Oracle High Availability Service Daemon. This is a process which also parent of Oracle Restart feature. Oracle Restart feature. I hope since you have worked on 11G R2, you must have noticed that back in 10G or 11G R1, when you shut down the operating system, database gets down, and by the time you start up the OS, you will have to manually start up the database. That's what we were generally doing there, right?
Yep.
With OHASD, first of all, now when the machine boots up, your database also gets up.
Okay.
This is first feature.
Restart feature is specifically related to this rack, right? When we restart the rack, this is what you are trying to say, right?
Yes, this is also going to, when your node comes up, all the services on the node and the whole cluster layer stack is going to get up because of this daemon. So this is, kind of the base daemon which will respawn or which will spawn all other processes at the OS level to start the rack environment or to start the clusterware on that particular node. Okay.
And this feature comes only in 11G release 2, not in release 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, not in release 1. It is a new feature of Oracle 11G release 2.
Okay.
Okay. Although RAC we are having since Oracle 9i officially RAC.
Yeah.
Before 9i, I have personally worked on Oracle 8i, where we used to work on OPS, Oracle Parallel Servers. That was
Exactly.
also RAC. So most of the people have a myth that RAC was introduced in 9i, but actually it was introduced in Oracle 8 with Oracle Parallel Server. Just the name was changed in Oracle 9. But this particular, daemon and this mechanism is new here in Oracle 11G release 2, and it's continued in Oracle 12C as well.
Okay.
So when you give command to start the cluster or to start the rack services, first process which will get started, that is going to be OHASD, Oracle High Availability Service Daemon. This is the very first process which will be started, and after this it will further spawn different processes that we are going to. OHASD, I told you that OHASD entry will be written into init.db. So there you will register generally those processes that you want to initialize after the machine. Alright.
Okay.
Now further, when you will start your machine and when you give the command to start the clusterware, the first thing that starts is OHASD, and OHASD further spawns CSSD agent. You can see on the top I think CSSD
Yeah.
agent.
Yeah.
CSSD agent stands for Oracle Cluster Synchronization Service Daemon. Okay.
Yeah.
Oracle Cluster Synchronization Service Daemon. This will be starting, which is also known as CSSD, and the process name of this particular process will be not CSSD. Okay, which you can see I hope on the level 2.
Yeah.
Ora.cssd. So when you
Yeah.
will grep this process, you will get this process name.
Okay.
This particular process is responsible for starting, for actually checking the node heartbeats. Okay, when one node pings another node before starting up the other resources. So this particular process is for node monitoring or node heartbeat checking. For that, this process is responsible.
Okay.
After that, OHASD starts Ora root agent. Ora root agent, and under Aura root agent, it starts CRSD. CRSD stands for Cluster Ready Services Daemon. Okay, it's cluster
Okay.
ready, the cluster where, because this will spawn everything on next level. Because here from this CRSD, you see below Aura agent, another arrow coming to Aura agent. Okay, so actual process who's responsible to start the cluster. Basically, cluster, when we say cluster, it's a group of services, okay, here, or
Yeah.
clusterware. It's a group of multiple services, including the database, including ASM, including your ACFS drivers, ONS, all that stuff. So that's combinedly here called as clusterware. So to start the clusterware, this is the process who's responsible for starting and stopping, CRSD. Okay. So in case if someone asks you that which process is responsible to start and stop the rack or the whole clusterware, so the answer will be CRSD. Okay. Cluster
Yep.
ready service. This is one of the frequently asked questions for the interviews. So that's why just sharing with you. Other thing, you see the next process, CTSSD, Oracle Cluster Time Synchronization Service Daemon, CTSSD. Okay, it's Time Synchronization Service Daemon. This process is generally used to ensure a single time across all the cluster nodes. Because just imagine a case if you have, let's say, a 10 node rack, all the machines you have provided a different time. Okay, so the problem, in case there is some issue, when you will try to search the logs, one machine will say that error is coming at 11:30. Second is saying the 11 error is coming at 12. Third is saying error is coming at 12:30. So you won't be able to get a conclusion that actually by what time issue came. So
Yep.
the task of this time synchronization service daemon, as its name is time synchronization service, that means this is going to synchronize the time across all the cluster nodes. Okay, that's
Okay.
time synchronization service daemon. Generally, we should use what Oracle says, that we must use NTP to
Yeah.
synchronize the time. In case if you are not using NTP, then you can have some water. This is another question which is generally asked in interviews, that time synchronization service daemon, we have NTP, whether it will be working or not, or it will not be spawned. Okay, it will be spawned, it will be there, it will not be synchronizing, but yes, it will be running in observer mode. So this is going to work in observer mode in that case. All right, if NTP is getting used. If you are not using NTP, then obviously this will have to take charge, and this will start working.
Got it.
Other process, Aura root agent starts, that is diskmon, which is known as disk monitor. Okay, it is disk monitor. Disk monitor is generally responsible for IO fencing kind of things in case of Oracle Exadata storage, but will not be generally used for your general environment of RAC. It's used with Exadata. So in this course of yours, this is not going to, you will not be able to see this process, much functionable. But yes, it will be spawned no matter whether you are working on Exadata or not. Just it will run. It will actually work with Exadata for IO fencing in case the node is not able to ping to the storage, when the node will be rebooted automatically. So if storage heartbeat and all that, so this diskmon is going to manage that IO fencing stuff. All right.
Yep. Okay.
Other thing that you see here is ACFS drivers. Are you aware of ASM clustered file system?
Yep.
So yes, exactly. So that's 11G R2 feature ASM clustered file system. These are the drivers for that ACFS. Okay. So with the rack, your ACFS automatically gets mounted. But in standalone, every time when you start the machine, you generally used to mount the ACFS drivers manually with root user. In RAC, it will be automatic, okay, with the help of Oracle Clusterware. All right.
Yep.
Then further, on next level, you see in now in blue color, there are Aura agent. Firstly, Aura agent.
Yeah.
You can see which is further spawning. Oracle ASM. This Oracle ASM means Oracle ASM instance service. So here you can see one communication is going on. Here communication, it's starting the Oracle ASM instance indirectly. Okay. So this ASM service will be started, which will further spawn ASM instance. Other thing which will be started, that is GIPCD.
ASM means automatic
storage management.
Yep.
Automatic storage management. Just like RAID, we have RAID, redundant array of interconnected disk. Similar kind of storage, Oracle provides us.
Sorry, I thought this instance is different. I mean, that's why I asked question. You said that
instance, yes, instance is basically, on the storage, on the top of storage, the instance is used to manage that storage. If instance is down, the ASM storage will be unavailable. Okay. So this will have to be up in case of, you want to start the ASM storage, or if you want to use the ASM storage. Other thing